Vivekananda says, the whole secret of existence is to have no fear. Never fear what will become of you. So we can see that Vivekananda was establishing a warrior code of sorts. He was making people feel strong from within. This concept of fearlessness, this whole idea of keeping courage at the center of all our pursuits in life is really profoundly revolutionary, and it sets Vivekananda apart from most preachers of spirituality, religion, and so on. The kind of fearlessness he was talking about was a mystical, spiritual fearlessness which is intensely creative. It is the fearlessness of the warrior Arjun on the battlefield, who, once he understands the profound message of Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita, becomes exceedingly dynamic, becomes once again that expert archer, that expert warrior he is, and that he had abandoned, that he had forgotten about. He comes back to his self-nature, and Vivekananda is saying that at our very self-nature, at our core, is this idea of being utterly free from fear. That is the way we originally are, but by and by in the world, we become conditioned to fear things. That happens as a result of our educational process, our upbringing, our socio-cultural context, our religious beliefs. Religion has become a tool to inculcate fear in the heart of the child, and that has been one of the most pernicious aspects of religion. So Vivekananda takes us back to the essential religion. He takes us back to that which the rishis propounded. The state of abhaya, the state of nirbhaya, the state that Gautam Buddha also used to emphasize as being the very first virtue of the spiritual quest, that which the Tirthankaras used to emphasize. You see, the word Mahavir of the Tirthankar Mahavir itself means one without fear. So the whole path of the Tirthankaras was one of fearlessness. You examine the Sikh gurus, you'll find this element of fearlessness running right through. So on and so forth. And this is the kind of fearlessness which is in the very essence of Japanese Zen culture, the Bushido code, the samurai warriors. Where you abandon fear completely, you become creative, you become poetic, you become absolutely free within your being in a meditative state to fight even a war, a battle in state of fearlessness. And no matter what you are doing, no matter what the Zen person is doing, it could be gardening, it could be archery, it could be painting, it could be the tea ceremony. This whole idea about provoking our courage is at the primary center of the spiritual quest, of the mystical search. Disconnect with your fear. Vivekananda says that the first thing we need to destroy is fear. If we destroy that, we are filled up with fulfillment. We are filled up with possibility. Then only are your mind, body, and spirit not separated. Fearlessness is the bridge which allows you to act as you think, to think as you act, and so on. You are not thinking one thing and doing another just because of fear. You are able to live an integrated life. You are able to find that in your very guts, in your very bones, in your very blood, you feel freedom. And freedom and fearlessness always go together. If you act in a free state of being, you are acting in a state of fearlessness. And if you act from a state of fearlessness, you are moving towards freedom, towards your own mukti, towards the Jivan Mukti, Mukti in this life itself, not waiting for an afterlife and so on and so forth. It is a totality of feeling that envelopes you, surrounds you. You see, in English, the word is be gutsy, have guts. And the connotation in yoga philosophy, in Raja Yoga philosophy, is that down to your very guts, you feel a state of fearlessness, down to your very navel area. And that is very key. In Indian mysticism, in Tibetan Buddhism, in Zen Buddhism of Japan, when it comes to the idea of fearlessness, our whole being begins with the navel. And it is there that we find, when we are in a state of fear, we feel what is called butterflies in the stomach. You feel uneasy in that gut area. So what Vivekananda is talking about is sheer guts at a deeper level, at the level which goes down to your very roots of being. Strengthen the roots, and the tree flowers and bears fruit of its own volition naturally. Water the roots, and the roots are our root chakras. Our very basis of existence needs to be the strengthening of fearlessness deep within our beings, right from our toes upwards. Feel strong. Feel yourself emptied of fear. Feel that you are able to move into a situation where nothing can block your energy. You see, why is fear so pernicious from the spiritual point of view? It blocks your energy. It blocks your energy in every way. It blocks the energies of your chakras. It blocks the energy from ascending into your higher spheres. It blocks your flow of life. It blocks your current of expression. It blocks your ability to relate to people. You see, so many of us find it difficult to relate to people, to talk to people. And without that, we cannot expect success in anything. You have to relate to people. You have to have the courage to move into a situation where you're open to people. But it all begins by getting rid of this very primal fear that we have within ourselves. What will the other think of me? What impression will I create? And so on. Vivekananda was extremely revolutionary. He said, forget all this nonsense. Those are just your imaginings. Leave all that behind. Believe yourself to be a child of this universe. Believe yourself to be a worthy child of this marvelous existence. And then you'll find that a great transformation happens within your heart and mind. Then by and by you're able to move out of fear. Then by and by you're able to withdraw yourself from the shell of fear and move into the open space of courage. The multi-dimensional space of creative courage. The space of meditation. The space of all possibilities. Then you are able to move with a greater surety in your life. Vivekananda's own life actually personified his sense of fearlessness. He walked his talk. He's faced so many difficulties throughout his journeys. Difficulties at the bodily, physical level, difficulties at the mental level, being harassed, having no respite, having no rest, but he went on and on because he had a courageous heart. And that is the courageous heart he wanted to give to India, to Indians, to humanity. Because he says that is the whole secret of overflowing. That is the whole secret of well-being. That is the whole secret of dynamic movement in the sphere of thought, action, and most importantly in the sphere of spirituality. Otherwise, nothing can liberate you. Nothing can give you joy. Fear becomes the biggest factor between you and your ultimate happiness, between the normal state and the samadhi state. There are only a few steps, but the first step you have to walk with is fear. You see, fearlessness. You see, the first thing that you have to do on a journey is have the will to begin the journey. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with one small step. And in Vivekananda's eyes, that one small step is completely letting go of that which you believe to be your fear. He says fear is unreal. Fear is something created in us by human society. Don't let it transform you from your highest super consciousness, which is your self nature, into a very average, conditioned consciousness. Feel powerful. Feel powerful at every level. Feel powerful at the level of mind. Feel powerful at the level of body. Feel powerful, most importantly, at the level of soul, at the level of spirit. You see, this is what Krishna harkens back to. He tells Arjun, he says that the soul is virtually indestructible. There is nothing to fear. Even if the body dies, nothing really dies. The sword cannot cut the soul. Water cannot wet the soul. Feel yourself a part of this immutable, changeless, timeless, beautiful, vast existence, and that itself transforms your every fear into a singularity of courage that itself is enough to make evaporate all those anxious fears that you feel around you. You see, it's like sunlight entering a damp room. By and by, the sunlight itself will take care of the dampness. It will have a drying effect. So too is the sunlight of consciousness within our being. If our consciousness shines with a great brightness, with the belief that it can overcome fears, with the belief that it is part of an immutable, changeless, indestructible, greater hidden power behind it, one suddenly feels blissful. One suddenly feels dynamic in whatever one needs to do. One does not hesitate. And with these qualities, you are sure to move towards successful living in every way.